the effort. We got to continue to get better here these next couple days, and we got a tough opponent coming on Friday.
Talking with Trent and Xavier about it, they mentioned the defense between the first half and the second half. Is part of that kind of a function of a team playing together for the first time, playing defense on the other end of the court from the bench?
Yeah, we always talk about that. Let's not be a first half defense. Let's be a 40-minute defense. We don't want to just be able to play in front of our own bench when the guys and the coaches are yelling. I think in terms of X and Clarence and Troy, some of those guys are still getting in game conditions right now in terms of their condition, and we got to just do a better job. I think in terms of our communication in that second half when you're away from the bench for the first time, and then also just making sure that we're finishing possessions. I thought we guarded okay for the first 10-15 seconds, and then we let up, and they were able to make some shots or get some offensive rebounds in that second half.
And how much of that too, like you talked about, getting guys back into game condition? How much of that this fatigue enter into that part of it in the second half of a game like this?
Yeah, I think it definitely enters into it. We haven't had those guys available to go up and down and play probably enough in terms of up and down consistently, just because of injuries and things like that. So I think as the season progresses, those guys will continue to get their legs and be able to play the way that they're capable of playing for longer minutes. But we cannot break. I keep telling our guys, we got to be able to wear teams down this year with our effort, with our energy, with our communication, and that's something that we got to do better on Friday night.
And asking Xavier this: how pleased were you with his ability to pick when to attack and to pick when to set up his teammates? It seemed like he found a happy medium with that tonight.
Yeah, I thought he came out, especially the first half, and played great. I thought he was pretty decisive. I think in the second half, he was a little bit indecisive. He's going to be, he's put a ton of work in. He should have complete confidence out there, and we need him, to be a guy who can make decisions for us and play with complete confidence. So he really got us going that first 10 minutes, 12 minutes of the game, and I think the rest of the guys fed off him.
One of the things that Trent was talking about, especially after halftime, was just having his teammates pick him up, and that seems to be something that's been consistent with all your teams, is having that kind of locker room energy with your players picking each other up and just making sure they all.
For sure. I mean, the culture part is what we've been building here, and it starts with the character of the young men that we recruit and that are in the program and in the locker room. And these guys have invested a ton, over the last 5 months and have become a team. And now as we go through the season, it's not, no one's going to have their best game every single time. So that's what teammates are for. That's why it's a team sport. And our guys have always stuck together, and we need to continue to do that if we want to get to where we want to get to.
And something with this team, there's a lot of new faces, a lot of new people, transfers. Kennard Davis came in. You seemed like you weren't really afraid to get him out there for the first time and get him going.
Yeah, I thought with the minutes, looking at it, I mean, I think the most we had was 25 minutes, and everyone almost got 10 minutes of play, except for Cross, obviously. But everyone, got an opportunity tonight. It was good to see everyone on the court. Like I said, it was great to play in front of the community. So, it's something that we got to build off of for the rest of the year.
Clarence tonight got a double-double. Unfortunately, we aren't able to talk to him, but if you could talk to us a little bit about him, it'd be great. Just, typical Clarence, hopefully.
Yeah, Clarence, when his motor's running high, he can be a special player, and that's what I keep talking to him about. If he does all those other things in terms of running the court, outworking people, out-rebounding people, that's what's going to separate him as a player, and we need him, to be a guy who's a potential double-double guy, and he's got to have that competitiveness and that mindset every single possession, and that will really allow him to have a great year this year.
And you mentioned playing in front of the home crowd. You guys got a lot of home games coming up this year. Just the importance of getting that familiarity with Banterra and all that before the Valley season starts.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's it's to have the dog pound, have the community come out tonight. It means a lot, and for our guys, it's the first time we played someone else here because we were on the road for both of our scrimmages. So just in terms of getting that first game under our belts, and now obviously looking forward to Friday. Hopefully the guys are a little bit more settled and kind of understand the routine and just what to expect. Playing at home now.
Trent, how'd you see tonight's game from a team perspective? What'd you like? What can be worked on?
Obviously a lot to like, but a lot to not like. It's a first game, a lot of kinks to iron out, but a lot of excitement. Obviously, this is a special place to play in front of, and a lot of guys in the locker room hadn't seen that place at full effect yet. So I think they were really excited. I'm glad we were able to come out and get a win, but obviously we got to work on some transition defense, obviously myself included. Sorry, I'm not too close. But I think it was a happy locker room. Obviously, anytime you can get a win in college basketball, it's a good thing. It's a really hard thing to do, but everyone did their part, and I'm really proud of them.
What did you like about the team's defense in the first half? What do you think can be worked on from the second half?
We just when you're on the other side of the court, away from the bench, obviously the coaches aren't in your ear talking to you. So we just have to be better communicators. Myself and the leaders on this team got to lead the correct way, especially starting off on a good note. But I think we moved the ball really well. We stayed in front of the ball on the defensive end really well in the first half, forced them into tough shots. We got a key on better shooters than we did, but I'm happy about it.
5 guys in double figures offensively, better than 50% shooting from the field. Is that the kind of start team kind of hope for in terms of establishing some balance and working inside out?
Absolutely. I mean, any given night somebody can go off on this team. It's a product of how much work we've put in over the last 5 months. There's a lot of people who can score in a lot of different ways, and the ball really moves with this team. So, yeah, I'm not surprised by what happened tonight. I see in practice all the time. Certain guys come alive, and certain guys that didn't tonight will later in the season. I can promise you that. So I'm looking forward to it, and I think just everyone, it was a good team win.
And a lot of fresh faces in the locker room and on the court today, and they seem to step it up, coming off the bench. And how you see that going, you've been here a while and seeing all these new teammates coming.
I think it was great. Like I said at the beginning, they're super excited to play in front of the fans, in front of the dog pound. Just a super energetic place, and they get really into it. It obviously helps when we play better, but I think it was great to see some of the new faces out there contributing and moving the ball and running our system and doing everything they can to get a win. And that's what this team's all about.
And he's not in here, so I don't know if we're going to talk to him, but Clarence Rupert today, double-double, he showed out as well.
He's a stud, plain and simple. I mean, he's got so much energy. He's the one who really was talking to me and getting me going, him and X in the locker room at halftime. So I give credit to them a ton. Even Jared Hensley on the bench was talking to me a bunch. So, but yeah, back to Clarence. He's a workhorse, and we're going to need him all year.
What are your personal thoughts this year, stepping into more of a leadership role here on this Lukey team?
Just being better every day for myself. No job too small, but I think for myself, I have to know that I'm not my best every time I'm telling someone else to do something. Like, there's stuff for me to work on too. So just keeping that in perspective, I think is going to help us a long ways. 20
points, game high tonight. Seemed like you found that happy balance between attacking and setting up your teammates. Is tonight kind of the style of game you hope to be playing this year from that perspective?
I'm just grateful to be on the court. These past 5 months coming off an injury, I'm just grateful by God and Riley and Colton and everybody's been helping my rehab process to get me out here and just being on the court and just focusing on playing hard, just letting it come to me, not trying to force anything. But like you said, just trying to be more aggressive. And then that also helped me get my teammates open and they were able to knock down shots, so I'm happy for those guys.
How proud of you were that cross-court dime you dropped on Clarence in transition early in that game?
I'm definitely happy for it. That's one thing we wanted to focus on, just defense, rebounding, trying to get out in transition, and that's one thing we're trying to do this year differently. And Clarence is great. Like, he has a lot of energy, and he can definitely run the floor. So it's great to reward him for running so hard.
I was going to ask, the same question I just asked Trent. What do you think the difference was kind of from the first half defense to the second half defense?
I think just a little bit of a lack of focus, just coming out a little flat. I think we have to do a better job from a trading standpoint, just carrying over what we're doing, just keeping our foot on guys' necks and not relaxing a little bit. I think we relaxed, but we can learn from that. We're just happy to get the win, but continuing to grow and continue to learn.
Overall, what did you most like about what happened out there tonight?
Just like the fact that everybody had fun. We played hard and we were able to win. It's hard to win in college basketball, like Trent was saying, but the fact that we came out here and we were able to win just means a lot. It's the start of something great going on, but now we just enjoy this for the night and we go back in the film and get ready to learn and get better.
Same kind of thing I was asking Trent. You came in last year and you kind of took your role in the beginning of the season and showed why you belong in the starting lineup, and it seems like you've got some people on this team trying to do the same thing with these, with the transfers and the new kids and just all the new players.
Yeah, for sure. I was in that same position last year, so continue to try to encourage guys. And, we had a lot of core guys out this summer, so they got thrown into the fire a little bit with a lot of people being out, so they didn't really have anybody to follow after. So just continue to talk to those guys and continue to just have them continue to buy into the habits, into the role, just trying to get them to understand it day by day. It's going to be really big, and I think they've done a really good job, and they're continuing to learn. So it's going to be a long season, and I have ultimate faith in these guys that they continue to get better each and every day.
With the new guys coming in this year, has there been really much of a change of atmosphere of the teams overall, just team atmosphere this year?
For sure. I think we have a really close team. I think guys are starting to build friendships outside of the court rather than just teammates. And I think that's going to help us in the long run, just being more connected and being more together in the future.
Talking about Clarence today, he had his double-double, and talking about with injuries, with Cade being out, he kind of did really step in and fill that spot where maybe those minutes would have been split otherwise, but he had a good game today.
Yeah, for sure. Like Trevor was saying, Clarence is a dog, man. He brings a lot of energy to this team. We need that from him. He brings a lot of energy. He gets me going. He gets a lot of the guys going. So we need that from him. It was a big night for him, and he'll continue to grow. He'll continue to improve and do even more. So I look forward to that from him.